Okay, I want to show the way I get information for the Johns Hopkins data. This is a GitHub repository. Anyone can go here and get this data. Just need to sign in. It's a free free login. You need to put in user and password to get here, but it is free. They put out cumulative numbers every day. So if I was to take these last 2 days, let's take this, click on it. Give it a second, it's downloading. Click raw, get the raw data. I'm going to select all, copy, paste it into Notepad. You have to paste it into Notepad as a CSV. Then you can open it in Excel. File, save as. All right, this is the 10th. Let's say June 10, CSV. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing with the 9th. I can just go in here, take the shortcut, 09. Gets me right to the raw files. Select all, copy, put it to Notepad, save as. Okay, so I just downloaded these 2 files from the Johns Hopkins GitHub site. I can open both of those up in Excel. Meanwhile, I'll go back to my dashboard. So these dashboards would bring the data in. I've already processed this morning's data, which is the 10th. So it's a day behind. They put out the file around midnight. And so my number is always a day behind from what you see on CNN. And we'll go to Florida. Just going to look at Florida. All right, so the first thing here, what we could do is let's filter on all this data. And we're going to filter out Florida in the data itself. Again, this is the file that was just downloaded from Johns Hopkins site. I just filtered on Florida, and it is which one is this? June 9th. All right, that was June 10th. All right, so let's look at the June 10th data. So we have confirmed here. If I highlight confirmed for Florida, I'm getting 67,371. If I go back to my dashboards, right, these are cumulative numbers. Let's look at the cumulative number first. All right, you can see Florida is still filtered here. It should match 67,371. Okay, so we've matched the cumulative for Florida for Johns Hopkins data in our dashboards. That's been confirmed. Now let's take a look at the day before. So we've got June 9th. Same thing. We're going to filter. I'm going to filter Florida. And do the confirms. Okay, 66,000. So now if I go back to my dashboards just to confirm cumulative numbers here, the day before, 66,000. So the algorithm that I'm running takes the difference between 67,371 and 66,000. Since we got a nice clean 66,000, very easy to say, it's 1,371 should be our daily total. So I go to the daily numbers here. we're looking at every day these numbers, those differences get put in. So the daily comes here, 1371 exact. And anyone can go and check the data here. I've been watching the data and making sure that the numbers are being calculated correctly. But this is not a very good trend chart, right? So what we wanted to do is take out the fluctuations. If you look, there are differences typically over weekends where the reporting is not as much. Administrators stay home, whatever is causing the drop. So if we look at a 7-day average, at no point every day, the last 7 days is going to include 5 weekdays and 2 weekend days. If I did a 10-day average, there's a time where you'd see 4 weekend days in the grouping, and that would throw it off again. So 7-day average is very important. And we can do the math on this. So we're looking here at Florida, and you're seeing the 7-day average increase, right? And what we see here in their numbers, so where Georgia had mentioned that Florida's numbers were staying consistent or flat. And you can see even dipped a little, normal dip for the weekend thing, but then the last 2 days going back up. So what's going on here? If you look here at this trend line, there's daily spikes that went over 1,000, 1339, 1,038, and then the drop. You can see it drops, and there's a line that's kind of in here that's flat, and that's this line here, fairly flat. But then when it comes to here, it starts spiking. And when the spike went up, then the dip would only come down to, say, the average of what it was a couple of weeks ago. So the 7-day average is going to be going up. And again, the spike here, and what was really bad about the June spike is that when it went up, it stayed up. We had 1,300 on 6.3, 1,400 on 6.4, 1,305 on 6.5. All of these numbers are above 1,000. And even though it dropped slightly below 1,000, 966, went back up. So of the last 8 days, only one dipped slightly below 1,000. It's over here, you can see the average was in, somewhere around 600, 700. Even over here, 700. But now the averages are up over 1,000. So that's 7-day average. So even though you might have seen this part here kind of flat in the sense of it being in what was in June, it wasn't. It was a big spike compared to the 7-day averages prior. And that's what we're seeing here in this case. Now let's take a look at what the 7-day average is, right? So if I got 1371, I'm going to clear this out. 1371 plus, come here, 1096 plus 966 plus 1180 plus 1270 plus 1305. What is that? Plus one more. 1419 equals, divide that by 7, equals 1229. So 1229.5. So if my numbers are right, it should be 1230. I come here, 1230 is the 7-day average. All right, so that's how this gets calculated. And the 7-day averages were down here, and now they're spiking significantly in Florida. So you can question whether or not the Johns Hopkins data is accurate. There's plenty of it's not 100%. That's pretty. You can be pretty sure of that. But it is the best source. It seems to be from nationally recognized as the best source out there. And this should make you feel comfortable that I'm reporting on that data accurately. But if there's any other questions, you can reach out to me. I'd be glad to take you through any further steps to validate this data.